something that can be helpful to your friends and our communities, and so I think we just trust that what needs to come out will come out. Does that sound okay?
That sounds great.
Is there anything we can't talk about? Lynda came with a list. That's not really, but a bit of a list. So we're not going to talk about, and then we won't talk about that either. I'm just kidding. Okay, here we go. It's interesting is that Lynda and I have kind of been around the same community for a long time, but we never really got to know each other.
That's true.
And the first time that we met was at Alice's, that I remember, was at Alice's emotathon.
Oh, really?
Is that what it's called?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's called an emotathon.
The first one.
Oh, okay.
The last one.
Last one.
Which was not really the first one, but
right.
The first one I was there. And I was really impressed with how you really nailed it. Like, again, we can't really talk about what happened there, but in a general sense, we can say that there was some emotion.
Yes.
We can say that it was a emotathon kind of. You were emoting.
Correct.
And
I'm all about emotion and emoting, by the way.
Yes.
Yes.
And so you were letting it out, and it was awesome. And there was I thought some real healing that was happening there. And I remember
my share.
Your share. As I shared with you the other night, I remembered your share from that night. And
I mean, it's mine. I don't mind saying I did a really inspired. I didn't know that I was going to share this before I went up in front of the group, and I did a tribute and a gratitude piece to my dad.
Yeah.
It was very powerful, very authentic.
And it was so real, I thought that guy was your dad.
Okay. Right. Right.
Yeah.
That was the invitation, was to have this person be an avatar for whoever we wanted it.
Yes.
Wanted to be.
And what's his name?
We can't say.
Oh, we can't say.
Right.
Anyway. and I really
confidentiality.
like him too.
Yeah.
He's a sweet guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a gift and a blessing. Thank you.
We can't tell you who that was, but anyway. So that's where we met, and so then I found out that Lynda's doing stuff. You want to watch?
We can watch ourselves on my phone. No, I'm going to use this for something I'm going to reference when you ask me questions and I need to look them up.
Oh, okay. Cool. So Lynda tells me that she's been, a consultant and a teacher and a mentor and a coach in business and life and intimacy and relationships and would you say that you've been on the personal development consciousness path for a long time?
Really long time.
She's only 30.
Really long time. No, like seriously, I think I started reading self-development books when I was about 13. For some reason, I just was geeking out on it and interested in it.
Do you remember some of the authors?
No.
No?
No, I mean, I remember Jonathan Livingston Seagull.
Yes. Wasn't that great?
Such a, skinny little book, but very empowering. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, literature. I was always moved by literature.
Who wrote that? Anyway.
Yeah, so.
Me as well, back in the 70s.
Uh-huh.
So.
Well, I was little then.
Yeah, you were. But there I was in the mid to late 70s. It was actually before that. The mid to late 70s, we'll say. And reading I'm Okay, You're Okay, and Ogmandino's books and all of that. It was like, and there was only like 2 bookstores in Calgary, the New Age Books and Crystals on 10th Street and the women's bookstore up in the north. And where you can go find that kind of those books. There was no big bookstores, and so it was hard to find the good stuff.
I mean, well, I grew up in Ontario, so I went to grade 13. And I took a course in grade 13 that I can't remember the name of, some family dynamics or something like that. And we read People Making by Virginia Satir. I mean, wow, that's just still on my bookshelf, and I still reference it when I'm working with families and couples, and so many other things. Just I am lovable and capable, you know, all those things. So I think I had a really early influence, and it's just been where I feel at home, I guess.
Well, me too, you know, and of course, I don't know about you, but I kind of went into that work because I didn't feel at home anywhere. And I went into that work because I was like, what the fuck is going on here? You know, is this it? And I was a street kid, and you know, kind of a bit of an oddball, until I discovered drugs and alcohol. And
then you were cool.
Yeah, it's super cool, but that didn't last. After a while, I blow through super cool so fast to what are we gonna do with David? You know, because it worked for me for a while.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I had to let that go and find. So, but it's been kind of a mix of personal development and spiritual. You know, and is that?
Oh wow. Yeah, I mean, I was raised Catholic.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry.
And I remember when
I'm just kidding.
I remember one time when I said to my mom that I grew up in a very small town. And I remember saying to my mom, I wanted to know what they're doing in the other churches on Sunday when we were, you know, in our church at Mass. And she gave me permission, like full credit to my mom. She gave me permission to go check it out. So one Sunday I went to the United Church, and one Sunday I went to the Presbyterian Church, and I went to the Anglican Church, and then, you know, and then I reported back to my family, and I'm like, it's not that different, actually. Like some nuances and different.
Do you remember Anglican we used to call it Catholic Light?
Yeah, right. And I said, they just copied us, Mom.
Yeah.
Like everything is copied. So I said, I felt the most probably at ease or comfortable there, because it was so similar. But United, I was curious about it, and I'm grateful that my parents were supportive of me exploring and checking that sort of thing out, and seeing what's there. And it was important to them that they always said that it was important to them that they gave me some kind of basis from which I could explore, figure my own thing out. So, yeah.
Nice. So, then you moved to Calgary, like you met some guy. Did you meet him here? Was there a guy involved?
There's always a guy involved. Oh my
yep.
gosh. Well, okay, wait. So I don't want to do my whole life story.
Okay.
On this. Come on. But
trying to get to know you better.
But there is a guy. Yeah. So I lived in Toronto.
Yes.
And I met a guy who was involved in Stars Air Ambulance in Calgary.
Yes.
While I was in Toronto. And then I came here to hang out with him and ski. And I decided to move here.
Yeah.
But he decided to break up with me. But I decided to move here anyway.
Yeah.
And then by then I was seeing a guy. Both by the same name, first name, in Toronto, and I moved to Calgary. So that didn't last either. But I just was hooked on it. I loved the mountains. I loved the West. I loved the feeling of the wild and free, and the confinement of the big city of Toronto, and the traffic and everything was more. I grew up in the country. I grew up in a really small town, like I said. So I needed to find.
Ontario?
No, not northern. Not far from Ottawa.
Okay.
Yeah, but in the country. So I had to find where I fit. I had to find a place where I felt like I fit. Somewhere that was not too big and not too small. You know, just right. The Goldilocks.
Yes.
Right?
Somebody's been sleeping in my bed.
So so that's how I ended up here, and I've been here ever since. I'm not counting, maybe 25 years or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So you're still in kind of in the sharing, teaching business,
yes.
in a way.
Yes. I facilitate workshops on communication, specifically nonviolent communication skills, and I use a really fun tool.
That sounds really dry. What do you mean, communication? What is communication? There's got to be more to it than that.
Well, I use a tool called the Love Smart Cards. And the Love Smart Cards are a hands-on manipulative that supports the learning of the 4 steps of nonviolent communication, which is a thing coined by Marshall Rosenberg, and
Like active listening.
it's more than active listening. So it's based on empathy. Because I had a bit of a negative experience with learning active listening. The phrase that I was taught, I don't know, maybe you were taught better than I was about this, but I was taught to say what I think I heard you saying was, and then basically just repeat back most of the words that you used, which didn't really prove to my speaker that I actually understood them.
No, you're just saying that you, but they should feel heard.
The intention was that they would feel heard.
Yes.
And my experience of it was that the feedback I got from the person talking was that they didn't really feel heard. And sometimes they felt patronized. So, maybe it was the way I did it. Maybe I didn't learn it well, but it didn't seem to deepen the connection. And my intention, and I'm all about deepening our connection.
Oh, good. I'm interested in that. The thing that I got was that mostly I wasn't listening. I was thinking about what I was going to say as soon as you shut up. And I spent a lot of my life doing that, and I realized that I was missing a lot because I already knew what you were going to say, and which was was my ego, totally on a rampage, and so for me to listen it was not natural. It's something that I've had to learn the importance of, first of all, that I couldn't really have a relationship with somebody if I wasn't going to listen to them and hear them, and so it was always just about me, and so I learned some good things with active listening, and that I don't have to fix people. Yeah, I can.
You don't have to fix people.
Yeah.
What a relief.
Really, I can just be with them and love them and listen. And
do you find, though, when someone's sharing something that's pretty intense and maybe even emotional that they're uncomfortable with, that you become uncomfortable for them, with them? Or does that not happen for you?
Well, I mean, in a way, because like the emotathon that we were just at, I certainly pick up, I cried several times. So I picked up the energy of what was happening, even though it's just them moving energy. I can. So yes, I don't know if it's being empathetic or but yes, I feel it. I can feel it, but now if somebody's angry at me, I could feel their anger, but it doesn't necessarily push me into anger.
Okay.
It might move me into, hell, I better get out of here. Fear.
Fight, flight, freeze.
I might go into fear. But if somebody's crying, or
yeah.
I have a friend today who's having a surgery, and I've had empathy for her all day. I haven't talked to her.
Yeah.
And I'm of course making shit up, but she's in I'm imagining her in a troubled way, but yeah. So
you're not making up that you have a friend who's having a surgery
No.
today. Just you're making up the story that she might be troubled or feeling.
Yeah, it's got nothing really to do with her. It's me. I obviously have a feeling, and which comes from a judgment that she's going to be, negatively affected, or that she's going to feel hurt or pain, or the things from that, and so yeah.
Well, I'm guessing you might be feeling worried about her.
Yes. Yeah, and so when you're teaching people to communicate, you're, I imagine, teaching them to feel, or identify feelings.
Yes, to identify feelings in ourselves and feelings in others.
So tune in.
Just give them a name, and the awareness that I have is how little we're supported to have a large vocabulary with which to identify feelings.
Yeah.
So there's 108 emotions cards in the Love Smart card deck. Half of them associated with met needs, the pleasant feelings that result when needs are met, and half of them associated with unmet needs, the unpleasant feelings that result from needs not being met. And one of the key things that comes from working with the cards and with the tools of nonviolent communication is to increase our emotional literacy.
Wow. So not just mad, glad, sad.
Right.
Yeah.
Not just when you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Yeah. Mad, glad, sad. How are you?
Right.
You know?
Right. Yes. And I've used them with kids. I've used them with elderly. I've used them with adult children and their parents. I've used them with couples.
You could come to my men's group.
Yes, I've done a men's group.
Have you?
In Nelson.
Yeah.
Yes, it was brilliant.
You know, I've been in men's work since '99 for 20 years. And
Good for you.
I meet the same men, not the exact same men, but the same group, and it's evolved, and men have come and men have gone. And we meet outdoors once a week around the fire.
Wow.
Every week.
That's cool.
And it's great, you know, but a lot of men show up with no feeling conversation. No, they, you know,
vocabulary to describe their emotions.
No. How are you feeling? Feeling?
Yeah.
I'm not feeling anything.
Yeah. I said that to a guy I was dating once. I asked him, so how do you feel about that? And he answered, and I said, okay, that's awesome. Now I know what you think, but how do you feel? And he said, isn't it the same thing? No. So that was an interesting conversation.
Yeah, well, you know, we all need so much education in that area. That's great work. You know, we could be doing that on a huge scale.
Yes.
You know, I mean, the first thing I think is to teach people the value of being able to have that, to have that vocabulary, to be able to check in.
Yeah.
You know, where am I feeling?
Yeah.
And what am I feeling? And
Yeah.
There's subtleties too, isn't there?
Yeah, and what you said about where does it reside in your body.
Yeah.
So when you think when you think you've been betrayed or cheated, you know, how does that make you feel? And where does it reside in your body? Where do you feel it in your body? Is it in your solar plexus? Is it in your chest? Is it in your throat? You know, where does it show up? So we do all that in my workshops. That's exactly it, the whole embodied experience with.
Nice. Have you got one coming up soon?
Actually, we have a super cool thing that you might like because of the men's group piece. It's called Fly on the Wall. It's coming up on June 27th. And Fly on the Wall is sort of combining men's and women's circles. And the intention is to understand each other better and to bridge that gap. And the way it will work is can I tell you briefly how it's going to work?
Yeah, for sure.
And maybe you'll come. Maybe you'll invite some guys from your men's group because it'd be super cool. So we go into a room, and everyone will be given a recipe card and a pen, and you can put a question, or if you can't think of a question, then a topic that you'd love to hear the other sex discuss. And all the cards from the women will go in one basket, and all the cards from the men will go in a separate basket. And then the women, I think, will go into circle first, and we'll sit in the middle, and we'll randomly pull from the basket, from the questions the men who are there
from the
provided.
questions only from the men.
Only from the men.
Yeah.
And we'll discuss them amongst ourselves until there's nothing left to discuss on that topic, and then we'll move on, but we'll randomly choose. And I think we do that for 35 minutes. I have the whole plan worked out for the timing of it. And during that time, the men will be on an outer circle. And they'll be the flies on the wall, listening, totally just taking it in, can't ask a question, can't comment, can't give advice or fix or judge or whatever, just listening, taking in. And then we'll switch. And the men will go in the center. The women will be around the outside. They'll be a fly on the wall. And they will, and then the men will pull from the women's basket to see what the women want discussed, what they want to hear the men discuss, want to be listening in on, as though they were at a men's group, listening in on it as a fly on the wall. And the men will discuss the topics, and then we'll join all together in a big circle at the end and have shares and debriefs and takeaways and whatever revelations, right? Whatever has come from that experience. So we've done it before. Did it when one of my coaches, teachers, mentors, Sean Roop, was here from San Diego, and he and I facilitated that. And I'll have True will be co-facilitating, and he'll be leading the men's circle.
Is that true?
With me, True. Yes, it's True. True will be there.
We love True.
We love True, yeah. And so he'll be co-facilitating that with me on the 27th of June. I can't say the location yet because I'm just firming up the contract for it. And
Do you have to rent space?
I have to rent space for it.
Do you?
Yeah. So I'm asking for $20 to help cover the cost of the space rental and stuff.
Yeah, but it's cheap.
Yeah, I know, right?
But,
Listen, last time we did it,
yes,
we talked about this since I was 13. I've been in this work, and I've read hundreds of relationship books and taken, I have so many certifications and courses and everything else, and I was blown away by the things both the men and the women said, frankly. I had no idea some of these concepts and things that were said, and the questions, I mean, we can ask anything. And, of course, everyone's at choice. You can answer or not answer. If you don't have something to contribute to that question, wait till the next one or whatever. But, it was absolutely mind-blowing. I could not believe what I learned.
Just $20 too cheap.
Too cheap. Okay.
It is.
I know.
You can't do anything for $20. and especially
make it more next time.
Rented space.
Anyone who wants to pay more is welcome to.
Well, then open that up.
Yeah.
Say $20 just cover the space.
Yeah.
The next $50 you're about to give me is for me. Make donations, nothing less than $50.
I am impacted forever by the things I heard from both the men and the women in that group. And it was a small group, and it was just incredible what I heard. And I saw the looks on the other people's faces in the group, and I could see people were having some revelations like I was having.
Wake up.
Wow, that's how you guys make that decision. That's how you think about that. That's how you...
Yeah. Well, it's the thing that, most of us are so wrapped up in ourselves that it's hard to even imagine what's happening for others. And unless we mature, and then we start to think of others, and that exercise is a great thinking of others exercise. It's like, oh, there's somebody else here.
And at the same time speaking for yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're speaking for yourself and how you feel about those topics or issues.
But I'm specifically thinking of the people who are listening.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're like, oh, wow, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, for sure.
We did that years ago in Bali. There was like 35 or 40 of us in the group, and it was almost an even split. And we did that one day with the women in the middle and the fellas outside, and it was I remember that.
I asked
25
Sean,
years ago.
Like you did it with 35 or 40?
Yes.
Yeah, I asked Sean how big it could get, and he said his biggest group ever was 100, and it was almost an even split as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he said it was still, not still, but he said it was amazing. So I think if we get the room that I think we'll have, then we'll probably have a capacity, but 60.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah.
That's.
I just really want to break down the barriers. What's preventing us from being able to understand each other? What's holding us back? What's in the way?
Well, what's keeping us from being able to love each other?
Yeah, exactly. That's a really nice way of phrasing what I just said. Thanks for that upgrade.
Yeah.
Can I put my hand on your leg? I was just about to put my hand on your leg when you said that. Thank you. Yeah. I like to get consent. It's like it's really important to me to ask permission before touching somebody.
All right.
And make sure that they're a yes for that.
I didn't.
I know.
Yeah. Just touching you all over the place.
I appreciate being asked before I'm touched too. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I touch you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it depends on how. That was a really non-specific request.
Like on the shoulder.
Yes, on the shoulder. Great. Super. I like to know what I'm saying yes to.
Yeah. That's it. Interesting. At the Emotathon, I think I can say this without breaking any, that we do ask for permission to touch. And
well, in my whole world, we ask for permission to touch.
Well, yes. I touch James without asking.
Do you have a blanket agreement, though?
I don't know, but I usually, like when James comes in and I'm going to give him a hug, I do my best to tune in before I do, you know, just to make sure that it seems okay. I mean, you know, but we've been hugging each other a lot for a long time, and it seems, you know, I think it'd be like you and Alice almost, you know, you probably know, you would know if there was something happening.
Yeah, so here's a cool thing about blanket consent. So blanket might mean that you have an agreement with James that, you know, you guys typically hug when you greet each other, and that's traditional for you, like with me and Alice. And so blanket means if which we don't have, just to be clear, but if you and I had a blanket consent agreement for physical touch.
We don't, just to be clear.
We don't have that. But if we had that, what it would mean is that if either of us did something the other person wasn't a full yes to, then we would let the other person know in a loving, kind, gentle way.
Yeah.
And then we'd stand in our truth and not be victimized.
I like maybe's a no.
Speak for it. Yeah.
The other night.
You like maybe as a no?
Yeah.
I don't like maybe as a no.
No?
No.
Well, I liked it because
it depends on the situation.
I don't want somebody to go over the top of themselves. And if they're uncertain, I'd rather them say, just to say I'm uncertain.
Uncertain, yeah.
You know, and I would be conscious of that and hold off. The other night, I actually touched somebody, and it was like when we were, you know, the men were at the very end when we were doing the circle, and we both had tears and I had it was so, but we weren't touching and it just happened, you know. It was and then I was like, oh, sorry, and she started like the tears went to humor. And we laughed, but yeah, it was nice to be there and be conscious of getting permission and asking for permission, or I think it's respectful and you know, and not to assume that
not to assume,
and I think it goes right into the bedroom. If you don't mind me. I think it goes right into the bedroom. I think that one of the things I learned with Paul years ago was that we could say no at any time. At any time.
Right.
You know, at any time. And we got to challenge old beliefs of, well, he bought dinner, so, you know, and I mean, that's the kind of the extreme old school example. But,
yeah, old paradigm thinking.
But at any time. Or to be tuned in enough to know when the energy shifted and stop, and which is a beautiful way to be connected with somebody and
present.
Yes.
Power of now.
Yes.
Here's your Eckhart Tolle book.
Yes, and to be present enough to know that if my partner's not here anymore, to you know, recognize that, oh, you know, and which was what a gift, one of the biggest gifts really of you know, those years that I had with that teacher, and I suspect that's some of the stuff that you teach.
Exactly.
And
yeah. Especially when I'm working with couples.
Yeah, you know, to help them to tune in and not assume and you know, and really be together when they're together. You know, and consciousness. You know, tell me about this intimacy event that's coming up this weekend.
Yay, good. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, because it's really about this, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're hitting it.
Yeah.
So it's called Embrace Intimacy Festival, and I think they have a website, embraceintimacyfestival.com. But I'm going to read some stuff from the group. So a question is, what does intimacy mean to you? It's tagged. Oh, James, you're awesome. Thank you. So what does intimacy mean to you? And we're going to go on this beautiful, rustic 40 acres of land near Caroline.
Nice.
The Lazy M Ranch, I believe it's called. There's a creek that runs through the property. And it is an absolutely peaceful place with gracious hosts and a lot of freedom, because we're in a really private area, to just really explore all aspects of intimacy, and first with ourselves. And So a lot of offerings, really beautiful, amazing facilitators. We have some facilitators coming from British Columbia. We have one coming from California, one from Edmonton, and several local to Calgary. And there'll be a cuddle party, an official cuddle party that Angel will facilitate. There'll be a neo-tantric.
Angel's going to be there?
Yeah, she'll be there.
I love Angel.
Yeah, Fiona will be there.
Yes.
Fiona's going to teach Tantra dance. She's going to lead that. There'll be yoga, there'll be partner yoga. There'll be some art, expression opportunities. I'm going to teach a class called Rasa Tantra, the yoga of the 9 emotions. So again, because I'm all about the emotional piece, that's what I'm bringing, my offering to the festival. And there'll be, Alice is going to do, I think she's doing a few classes, and one of them I'm super excited about seduction and the ways that we seduce. You know, we all have these archetypes, and I know for me, I think I was about 4 when I would hang out with my dad and go places, and I found out that like people kept saying to him, she's so cute. And I would overhear them saying she's so cute. And then they would say her blue eyes and her blonde hair. And I was quite verbal apparently and spoke well. I was the firstborn. A lot of time was spent with me. And so I realized I'm cute and I can get things because I'm cute. Yeah. I got power with this cuteness, right? And I, you know, I have a heightened sense of awareness of how I've used the cute factor, you know, to get things in my lifetime. And so anyway, so that's we're all seductive in some way, and we're all salespeople in some way too. You know, if you ever see a mom trying to get them to eat the kids to eat their dinner, that's you know, a sales job, and there's some kind of seduction going on. Anyway, so I think Alice's angle on it will be really fascinating. I'm super excited for that class. And then I know we're doing 50 Shades of Yes with Philippe. He's coming from California.
I know Philippe.
Yes, he'll be here.
That's it. Some parties with Philippe.
Yeah, probably in California.
Yeah. In Oakland.
Yeah.
He's a character.
He is. He's awesome. I think he'll bring some costumes and fabrics, and people can bring costumes. There's a juicy massage class.
I'm sure there is.
I don't know what's going to make it juicy, but I'm not asking. But it's here if you want to take that in.
Yes.
Conscious communication, of course.
Nice.
Men's and women's circles, partner breath work. A cacao. There's going to be a beautiful cacao ceremony as well one of the nights. So it starts Friday night and goes Saturday night, Sunday, and there's an opportunity to camp on the land or participate in the meal package. We have a caterer. There's a few tickets left. And a really interesting thing, I shared the link with a friend of mine this morning, I think, or last night. And he said, oh my gosh, that looks amazing. And I hope one day I have a partner so I can attend that. And I said, whoa, hold on, where did you get that from? Because I suspect that it will be similar to last year and the year before, and there'll probably be about 80+% people who are singles who come to this festival. Wow. So there will be couples,
of
course.
It'll be a mix, yeah.
But it'll be a real mixture.
There may be more couples at the end.
There may be.
Yeah.
That sometimes happens at festivals, as you know.
Yeah. It seems almost a little Burning Man-ish.
And it's totally dry. So no alcohol, no drugs.
Wow.
So a conscious festival and no minors. So.
No children.
No children.
Well, it's an adult festival.
It is an adult festival.
And like, I love the no drugs and alcohol because then you really get to be present or feel what's going on if you're not, you know.
James, can I give this back to you? Because I fear that I may have, oh no, I didn't mess up. Look at that, we're still on.
Still on.
Yeah.
You know, we're sometimes, when we use, you know, when we go to drugs and alcohol, it's because we don't want to feel. You know, and this seems like a feeling weekend.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I was.
You want to come now?
Well,
I'll give you my link.
My daughter is flying in Friday from Squamish. And I mean, yeah.
Special.
Yes.
You could bring her.
No, we're going.
There's day passes too. I just saw that they announced day passes for Saturday only.
We're going. It's funny because she'd come in, and you know, her mom has got almost every moment planned. You know, and Saturday night we're all going to Russell Brand together.
Really?
Yes.
Cool.
and my kids bought me it's my Father's Day gift tickets for Russell Brand.
Aww.
Yeah, and I'm a big
How many kids do you have?
Russell fan. 3. Yeah, and only 2 of them are coming on this. My daughter, who's number 1, was the first child, and her brother, who's 3 years younger, Emily and Luke.
Oh,
and then we have a Regan, was with I was married twice.
Okay.
And so Regan's not in town.
Okay.
But anyway, I'm looking forward to that. And their mom, who's married to another beautiful man, is coming. So we're going, together.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Well, we've been buddies.
Harmony, peace.
Yeah, we're buddies, and we're grandparents. Imagine.
Imagine
how that all happened. So I love this festival. It seems like part of the thing that separates us is, well, of course, is fear, and fear is often, it comes out of ignorance. It comes out of not knowing. Comes out of we make stuff up. About and so if you have a weekend like this where we can knock down the barriers that separate us, that keep us from being connected and being intimate and so everybody grows in this event. Everybody comes away. It sounds like a love.
A loving.
Yes. Yeah. With people
without the LSD.
Yeah. No acid. But yeah, it does, doesn't it? I think that's super. And I would encourage, so singles can come. I think that I would encourage
most of the people there will be single.
I encourage people to go do this, and that sometimes, some of us, sometimes we're not in a relationship. We'd like to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
We don't know why it isn't clicking, and of course it always has to do with us in some way. That there's some, we've got, our terms are so rigid that nobody could possibly get through the door, or we've decided that we're not. That nobody would, we've already voted ourselves out, and this seems like a safe place to challenge a lot of that.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's awesome.
A safe but brave space.
Yes, safe and courageous. Yeah. Who's kind of the organizer? Are you organizing?
I'm one of the facilitators, and Love What You Do is behind it, I believe, and Blair.
Yeah.
Gallant is behind that.
Okay. Love What You Do.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's what it says on the top.
There's a website?
The website is embraceintimacyfestival.com, I believe.
Yeah. How many people do you think will come?
I think around 50-ish.
Nice.
Small, 40 to 50 probably.
Nice.
I think it'll be small and intimate and have a very retreat kind of feel.
50's a nice group.
There's going to be a campfire, and people are encouraged to bring instruments.
Music.
And to have a jam session around the campfire and that kind of thing.
Have a kirtan.
Yeah. Whatever presents.
Sing,
I mean, so many people are super talented and gifted in the community, right? So, bring it. And there's accommodation indoors. I don't know if there's any room left for some people who want that, and if they don't want to camp or sleep on the land.
A couple of quick questions.
Sure.
Do you have a website?
I do.
Do you want to talk about it?
My website is coachlynda.com.
Okay.
And I don't keep my website very up to date. It's almost everything I do is on Facebook or Instagram. So Coach Lynda Switzer on Facebook is where I put all my events and where people
we
talk
can
about
tag that,
everything.
right?
And
yeah, we'll tag that, and so that people can find you.
Yeah,
for
sure.
Because you're helping people to find themselves. And they need to find you to find.
Thank you.
Yeah, and this is.
I feel like you're going to ask me a really hard question right now, just the way you hesitated like that.
No.
What are you going to say?
Well, you do coaching.
Yes,
and
I do.
You coach couples.
I do. Yes, I'm Gottman Couples Therapy certified, trained and certified.
Yeah.
So I use the Gottman method. And the Gottmans, do you know the Gottmans? Are you what? No? What? Really?
No.
You're not familiar with John and Julie Gottman?
No.
Okay, can I tell
you?
Yes, yeah. Okay, so John and Julie Gottman are psychologists.
Can I touch you?
Sure. Does that make you better? Feel better when I'm talking? I touch your leg again?
Yeah.
Okay. John and Julie Gottman are psychologists out of Seattle.
Yes.
And they have the biggest body of work on what makes marriages work and not work. And they have been studying over 3,000 couples for over 40 years.
Jesus.
And they do this really crazy thing. They find couples on the street who are willing to go and be in an apartment for 24 hours in Seattle. And they let them, play on their phones, order pizza, do whatever they would do. They just have to stay inside this apartment for 24 hours. And they're all rigged up with monitors for heart rate. They test their blood, urine, oxygenation, pulse, everything.
And their video.
And their video recorded. And there are observers. And then afterward they study. And they'll study how many times the person blinked, the lines on their forehead, the intonation, the tone of voice, every single thing. And all of their philosophy or processes and tools that they teach couples, teach people how to teach couples, are based on what they've observed from these. And
they've been doing this for a long time.
40 years. And they've studied some of their studies. So they also don't just pick heterosexual couples. They pick homosexual couples, and they've also picked couples who are newly married, 5 years in, 10 years in, 20 years in. And some of the studies have endured over 20 years where they followed those same couples for such a long period of time. And what they're looking at is what makes people happy and fulfilled in relationships, and what makes. So they don't just consider duration as the only metric for success in relationship, which I'm all for, not just using that as the only metric. But they look at how fulfilling is that relationship. Is it satisfying? Is it fulfilling? Are you happy? Do you feel loved? And so it's just a brilliant body of work, and I'm forever changed by my training.
They have some books?
Oh my gosh, he's written I don't know how many books. John Gottman.
We'll tag him.
Yeah, John Gottman and the Gottman Institute.
We'll tag
the Gottman Institute.
Their books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know how I could have missed that.
How? Right? Like, how could you?
How could I have missed that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like 7 principles to making marriages last, or something on trust. Oh yeah, yeah. And he's got books for men and books for women, and anyway, so it's fascinating work. I mean, mind-blowing. And what's really interesting is there's so much overlap between the nonviolent communication, the active listening, like we were talking about with empathy, and coaching, not NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, which is my background in coaching, and even Tantra, like a lot of stuff that's very tantric, actually.
Similar, yeah.
Yes. Just all of these, don't you find, the more you learn that all of these things overlap?
I have some old 8 tracks of the guys that taught Tony NLP. So the fathers of
neuro-linguistic programming
from the 60s.
Right.
I forget their names, but there was a couple of guys who were like really leaders in that NLP field. And then Tony Robbins was a big teacher of NLP. I mean, he still teaches NLP.
Yes.
Even though it doesn't.
He doesn't advertise it that way, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
And it's very powerful.
Yes. Very life-changing. Yes, absolutely.
Nice.
So I do that. That's most of my work now is with couples, and that I'm very. I guess you can tell by the way I talk. I get passionate about it when I start talking about it.
You do. Can I ask? I've never asked it. Are you in a relationship?
Oh, really? Well,
There's the question.
Here's the question. So here's the best answer to that question I can give you right now. Yes, I am. I'm in the most important relationship of my life. I'm in a relationship with me.
Nice.
Right. So I remember being in a workshop one time, and the facilitator said, "Who here is in a relationship? Raise your hand." And only about half the people in the room put their hands up. And he said, "Wait, like, what's going on here with the rest of you? Are you not in a relationship with yourself?" And it was a life-changing moment for me from that day forward. I'm always in a relationship.
Well, that takes the other person off the hook, because if I'm not happy with me, I'm not going to be any happier.
Well, you certainly are not going to make me happy. No, nothing personal. Can I touch your leg again?
Yes.
Right.
I might for a minute or two. Or maybe longer.
You're so flirty.
Oh, sorry. it's kind of natural.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad that hasn't gone away.
Yeah, right? It's still alive, still got it.
Do you know what has gone away though?
Uh-oh. I'm a little worried. I have like sweaty palms right now, too. But, you know, it's your show, so go ahead.
Well,
and I just feel a tiny bit like I'm in a Catholic confessional, like for the last several minutes. Just saying, you know.
well, I'll tell you what has gone away, which is just so freeing. I spent a lot of my life wanting to be in relationship, I'm not wanting to be in a relationship, but I'm also not needing to be in one. It's an amazing freedom that's happened in the last couple of years, and it wasn't like because I had a terrible relationship and I'm never going to do that again. It was like, you know, actually it was after a relationship that broke up, and my men said, "Why don't you just take a year off?" Just, you know, because I was kind of a serial monogamist, you know, 2-year deals, and
Well, like Esther Perel says, monogamy used to mean one person for life, and now it means one person at a time.
Well, I've been married. I was married twice, and I had 2 wonderful, successful, very successful marriages. And they were short, but anyway. No, they weren't that short. Anyway,
Duration, not the metric for success.
Metric, yeah, it was beautiful, and then, you know, and I went for 25 or 30 years, you know, with just and my men said, you know, and thank God, the beauty of having men in my life who know me for years, you know, I can't bullshit those guys, you know, they've watched me, you know, my kids grow up, they, you know, all of that, and one of my good men who I really respect is a senior man to me, and he said, "Why don't you just take a year off?" Just, and I did, and now, you know, we're 3
years in.
Yes, and it's like, oh, and I, you know, I'm kind of a praying guy. I have a spiritual connection. I have a belief in a higher power, or God, or whatever you want to call it, and so I've just turned it over. I've said, you know what, if there's somebody that you feel I should be with, and it's up, you know, I've let it go, and it's beautiful. You know, it's
really beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. I found that I wasn't the best picker. Although
I think you might not be the only one.
But the truth is, I've never dated a gal in my life that wasn't perfect for me in the moment. Do you know what I mean? And
were you the picker or the picky?
Well, whichever, you know, because
did you play both roles though? That's a real question. I'm curious about. Did you mostly let the other pick you?
I would say yes. Yeah, often. You know, it took me a lot of years to get past the idea that she likes me, so I got to show up. You know, and yes, I would say often that if somebody liked me, you know, or showed a real interest in me, there, you know, there's either something really wrong with her, or maybe she can see the absolute beauty. You know what I mean? And I mean, I felt that. I felt like, oh gosh, she obviously can't see me, but.
Or if she really knew me, she wouldn't be so interested.
Yeah, and I mean, that's all been part of me maturing to recognize, you know, my own beauty and my own caring, loving man who's here, and I think that it's a great place to be now for me, you know, and
nice.
Not needing.
And I want to ask you, because you said need, you said want, and then you said need, and I wonder if you discern between those 2 words. For you, is there a nuance that's different between them?
Well, sure. In my needing days, you know, often it was because I didn't want to be alone, or I was afraid, and somebody filled me up, it's a beautiful thing to not have that anymore, to, you know, be comfortable with me, and also my connection with you know, the moment, with spirituality, with my higher power, you know, and the service work that I do, and so I don't feel a need. And it's actually a little bit strange because I'm not sure what it would look like to be in a relationship to just be there by choice in each moment.
That's next level.
Yes, you know, but I think that's the possibility, and to be there in love, you know, and not be wanting or needing it to be. The wanting to be with somebody, I don't know, other than I think it would be nice to have some company, you know.
Companionship.
Yeah, but not. Yeah, it's nice to be free. I feel really free of that, you know, and which I think could possibly make me or anybody who gets to this stage in many ways a better partner. You know, it's a.
I feel like we need a big exhale together.
Yeah. So, thanks for bringing that out and
thanks for sharing.
Yeah, and so I sense that that's a similar thing is happening for you, and you know, that if you am I correct?
Oh yeah, I would use different words.
Okay.
My big thing right now is the desire to feel chosen. And so if anyone is doing anything with me out of any sense of obligation, it does not feel good for me. And I'm tuned in, like I can detect that so quickly. And it's yeah, I use a strong word. I would say it's repulsive, actually. So yeah, so I want to be there in that moment, free of choice.
What does obligation look like?
What does obligation look like?
Isn't that what you just said? If somebody's there,
out of obligation.
Yeah.
It's the shoulds. It's the shoulding. I just don't believe in shoulding on ourselves or others. And so, I should be there for her. I should do that with her. Or, we usually do blank, so we should do that.
So that happens not in the initial stage of a relating. That happens sometimes a little later.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it can be happening in initial stages too, but we're so drunk on all the oxytocin and all the new relationship energy that we don't even realize we're drugged up and can't even see what we can't see.
Oh my God, I feel 18.
Right, feel alive again.
I'm alive. Oh, Toledo.
Yeah. So. And in fairness, I mean, a lot of my work is with couples who've been together a really long time, and they still love each other. They still have a strong commitment, but there's no juice left in that relationship.
Yes.
And
so they've shoulded it right out the door.
And there's a lot of shoulds going on, and a lot of being there because of obligation.
Yes.
And so, I don't know what I do. It's alchemical, I'm going to say, but I have a way of enlivening and juicing.
Do you help them find permission to not be together? Because it's
as in, I don't encourage them to split up.
No,
if that's what you mean.
No, I don't mean encourage them to split up, but if they're there on shoulds, we got to stay together till the kids grow up. Well, we got to stay together till the grandkids grow up. That's a big should. And I mean, you want to bring them into the moment of they want to be together because they want to be together.
Yeah, right. Be back at choice.
And
that we're here because for most of these people, the kids are up and gone.
Yeah.
And they actually are at choice, and they just don't realize it.
Don't realize it. Yeah.
They're unconsciously in it, and so they don't even realize that they are really at choice. They don't have to stay together at that time, right? At this time in their lives, and so they really are at choice. So help bring them back to being at choice, and then if you're going to show up and you're at choice, show up, be there, be here now. Yeah. Be here now. Be right here, right now. Yeah. And this is the only chance at this moment that you and I are going to get. So what are we going to make of it? And let's live it. Let's live full out, whatever the expression is.
In
that
front
moment.
of the camera?
I'd love to push my boundaries.
I'm just being here now.
Yes, but
you're fun.
Yes, being here now. Be here now.
I've got to say you're more fun.
than you thought I was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More fun.
Yeah, you
Thank
are.
you.
It's nice. So I really appreciate you coming in,
Oh my gosh.
and that we, got to be personal.
Get to know each other better.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you for inviting me.
You're
Thanks for
welcome.
having me.
And
Having me on the show.
Can I touch your shoulder?
Killing
Do I
me.
have a blanket shoulder touch? Yes.
Well, then we have to talk about where does the shoulder begin and end. Just so you know.
I'm pretty clear.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because there's creeping boundaries, and that
Yeah.
happens. That happens sometimes. Yeah. Anyway,
This has
it's
been
another
great.
topic.
This has really been great. And I think that your weekend is going to be fabulous.
I'm super excited.
Yes.
I'm bursting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish you could be there.
Yeah.
I wish everyone could be there. And I know how many times, and this has probably maybe happened to you. Has this happened to you where you went to something and you thought, oh my gosh, I wish everyone knew about this. I wish everybody had the chance to experience what I just experienced.
Yes.
And I think it's going to be very special and be one of those kind of things that we wish we told a friend about. Or
Yeah. Well, the ripple effects, out into the community, love ripples.
Yeah.
And it'll be amazing. I don't have much of a social life, so you can invite me to stuff.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Actually,
Follow me on Facebook,
I
Coach Lynda. That's where all my events are.
I forget things.
Okay.
I say, I'll be there. And then it's like, it's 8 o'clock on a Friday night, and I'm thinking, what was I supposed to do today? And that's one of the things about having a partner that you end up getting to more stuff.
Yeah. It's a task that they perform for you. You could just get a secretary for that too. You don't have to have a romantic partner or maybe a calendar on your phone.
Oh,
I can
shit.
teach you how to use that.
James is going to teach me how to use that. We never did get that one done.
Or I just tell my phone, hey, remind me to.
Oh.
Yeah.
You can just talk to her?
Yeah, I just talk to her.
Yeah.
I talk to her all the time. She's
You
kind
have
of
a
bossy.
her?
Yeah, I have a her. Yeah, I like being bossed around by a woman sometimes.
My Siri on my phone is an Australian man.
Australian man. I change it up depending on my mood. But
Nice.
Yeah. So I use those tools to remind me of things that
Things
I want
that I want to go to.
to. Yes, that I want to be at that matter to me.
Because there really is, in case you guys don't know, there's a lot of stuff going on. We have
my gosh,
an
so
amazing consciousness community in Calgary, don't we?
I think there's a quickening happening.
Yeah.
That's a whole other topic. But
Yes.
don't you feel a quickening?
Well, sure. Things are evolving. It's happening. It's moving.
And it's
no
happening
question.
quicker and more and
Yeah. Seems to be. Maybe we're in it, and we're in the flow, and it's and the it is moving, and maybe there's some people who are not even in the river. And they don't even know there's a friggin' river, but this town has a lot going on.
Really does.
They're coming up this week on the weekend of the 21st. There's the Sheep Creek.
I heard.
Yeah, and which is amazing. I think I have like 4
It's
things.
a yoga retreat, right?
Well, it's not really a yoga retreat. It's more like an event. It's not. Sheep Creek has a yoga component, but it's at Patrick's place. What's Patrick's last name? Arnell. Patrick Arnell's home, and it's in a weekend event.
Oh wow.
Really cool. But that's the weekend of the full moon, right?
Well, solstice, right?
Yeah, or
because
solstice weekend,
Harmony
yeah.
House
Yeah.
is doing also on the 22nd a solstice festival
There's
music
tons
stuff
going on. I've got a wedding on Saturday. Who gets married on a Saturday afternoon, the solstice weekend? But anyway,
That's
going to
cool.
be it'll be very cool.
Nice.
And then Sunday we have
Rona's event.
Rona. What does she call that?
Spirit and Soul Fair.
Yeah, in Glenmorgan. I don't know if you know Rona.
Yes. I've
Do you
heard
know
of that,
Rona?
actually?
Have you? Yeah, she's amazing.
time.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
So many things.
Yeah, and
You could be. I think. Well, I think I've been busy every single night for 2 weeks now
Yeah.
at some kind of amazing thing.
yeah, we had our
Yes, I came here.
the kirtan the other
kirtan.
night. Wasn't that great?
Beautiful.
And you did a video.
I did. I did
Yeah.
a live
Yeah.
video. Yeah.
That was really cool.
For a little bit.
Then we've got Sangha coming up.
Sangha coming up. Yes.
Do you go to Sangha?
I have been to Sangha, and I'm sad to be missing Sangha this year. I'm my best friend is having a hip replacement surgery, and I'm the head of his care team. So
Wow.
So I'm going to be not here. I'll be in California, so I'll miss Sangha.
Oh, he's in California.
I know it's a terrible sacrifice I'm going to make going to
Well,
Northern
California,
California.
1st of July could be, it'll
Be
be
there
fun.
for the 4th of July.
Will you?
4th of July, yeah. That's
Yeah.
the weekend. So I won't be at Sangha this year, unfortunately, but hopefully next year. I did an awesome conscious communication workshop last year at Sangha that everybody filled the tent for. It was
Yeah.
just incredible,
Yeah.
so powerful.
We love Ray.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well, and the whole committee, who the